you guys, welcome back to the channel. We got a new season of Married at First Sight Australia. This is season 9, episode 1. We're doing the recap. I am so excited about this. Look like there are some big changes this year. First of all, being that it's not in the US, so they're not on Lifetime this season. And they really switched some things up. We're going to talk about it. So if you are new here, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash that like button. And also feel free, drop a comment down in the comment section below like I know you normally do. So without further ado, let's talk about this. I am happy. One of the things that they decided to do is to put this big announcement out about how this is a space to celebrate the couples and all, and how they will not tolerate bullying of the cast and bullying of the fans, which that's not something normally that other shows do, especially here in the US. So I was really happy about that, because it's one thing, we get a little bit of drama and we want to talk about it, right? But sometimes it gets out of control, as you have seen with Married at First Sight in the US. So maybe that's probably one of the reasons why they didn't bring it over here this time, because they know how the fans are here. So they're trying to make sure that they control the situation and make it a very comfortable and pleasant space for both the cast members and the fans to enjoy. So without further ado, let's jump into this new season and first episode. In this first episode, we get a little bit of romance and lots of sparks with that. Also, judgments are made because we have our first brides and grooms who's going to tie the knot in this episode. Thank God we don't have to do a kickoff special, shopping for a tux, shopping for a dress, make an announcement to the family. In 2 weeks, we're getting married. None of that over here. We jump right into it. We're going to get started with hens night. That's what they call it, hens and bucks. Bucks are the guys, hens are the ladies. So Dominica is the first one to arrive at hens night. It comes about 18 months after her divorce. So she was just recently divorced. She said that they were together for 4 years and we were only married for 2 months. Yikes. She did also say that in her Italian culture, being divorced is a big deal. So she's trying to rectify that with having the experts matchmake her with somebody new in a marriage. And then our other brides arrive, Celine, Selena, and Samantha. They come shortly after, and understandably, Dominica is definitely overwhelmed by all of the names starting with an S. Now, after that, Holly, Ella, and Tamara make their entrance. And then, of course, Olivia is the last one to arrive. And she definitely got some insecurities on her mind. So let's talk about Olivia. Now, one thing about this young lady, she underwent gastric sleeve surgery at 22. Now, she's hoping to start a new chapter, and she's no longer willing to just settle for whatever she can get. Now, as the brides arrive and everybody's getting free drinks, Tamara reveals she has masculine energy and she's going to break a guy if he's too weak. Yikes. And with that statement, Olivia feels a little bit worried for whoever is matched with her. And I mean, as we shall see later on, we're definitely, worried for the groom that she's going to be with. Now, the men over at the Bucks, we get to meet 39-year-old Texan who his name is Andrew. Now, he's been married twice before. It's third time lucky, as he say, crossing his fingers. The other grooms join the party, including the very confident Al, who rates himself an 11 out of 10, despite supposedly breaking the scale with his good looks. Guess what? He admits that he has never had a girlfriend before. Okay, so you've never been in a relationship, but you're about to jump headfirst into a marriage. All right, I'm definitely want to see how that play out. Now, Al casually mentioned how he is the best looking in the room before the final groom makes his entrance, which is Mitch. Mitch is definitely very handsome, but Al is still sticking to his claim that he's the best looking on there. You all, if you get to see this episode, let me know what you think. I'll post a picture and you tell me whether Mitch or Al is the better looking, or not at all. So the experts get to meet with both the brides and the grooms and kind of hype them up before they leave the single life behind. And with that, we get ready to start with our first wedding. So let's jump into this. The first newly married couple we're going to talk about is Tamara and Brent, and they're both driven and ambitious, so the experts decided that their strong personalities are going to be a match. I don't know about that. So Brent, he's 33. He was flying high and running events in Dubai before the pandemic hit. And once the pandemic hit, it crushed the hospitality industry, so he lost his confidence and everything that went along with it and kind of turned himself into a hermit. Whereas we have 29-year-old operations manager Tamara, who the experts believe he'll definitely find that confidence with. Now, Tamara loves being the boss. She wants, as she said, to find a guy who's ambitious, someone who is driven and motivated, and someone who has achieved something in life because that's what she's done. Okay. Now, first, can we just take a second and admire this whole set where the wedding is going to be? Everything was so gorgeous, so beautiful, so romantic. Even the way that they had the actual scenery and everything, it was definitely a lot different than what we see in the U.S. I got to give AU props for that. Even how they introduced everybody and leading up to the scene. I will also say that I like the way that they were actually framed and introduced by their occupation or profession, not based on the person that never worked before, or ex this or ex player or ex party girl, or I like the fact that they actually presented them for what their occupation is, and then we'll get to see how they gel on their own. But let's continue with this couple because we got a lot to talk about with these two. So everybody's looking handsome, and the couple, I should say, looking handsome, looking beautiful. And my thing is, I like to see the reaction of the groom when the bride walks in. And I'm telling you, when she walked in, I got to give it to her. That dress was absolutely gorgeous on Tamara. But his facial reaction was, man, it gave it all for me. He was definitely attracted to her. He was happy. Yeah, but, we'll have to see what's behind that face, though. Because she definitely flipped the script in this whole thing. So they start doing their vows, and while Brent vows promise respect and laughter, all Tamara takes note of is the fact that he works in bars, restaurants, and clubs. Tamara loves ambition and isn't loving his occupation, and her face definitely told it all. Now, meanwhile, Brent's main concern, and before we even talk about that, she prejudged him before even knowing exactly what that was about. Come to find out, it wasn't that he was this party guy that's just up in the club slinging alcohol. He actually worked in the operation side of the business. She changed her tune altogether. She even took accountability and apologized for prejudging him. But that's what she gets. She automatically assumed, because of the whole bars and restaurant thing, that he was just a bartender. When it come to find out, he works in the hospitality part of the corporation. You guys know what I'm talking about if you saw that. That's why it's not good to always judge a book by its cover, which is what we were saying about Steve on Married at First Sight in the U.S. You don't know what that man has, but because they framed him of no job, but he does freelance work. Freelance projects can pay a lot of money, and we don't know how much money that man got in the bank already stashed away. So this is an example of this, but let's continue. Now, there's something on the other side of the coin, and this is with Brett. He got a phobia. His main concern is that his bride may have dirty feet. And I don't think nobody likes dirty feet, but he has a foot phobia that tended to go around on and on in his mind throughout the wedding. Then their photographer, who we're sure had no idea, wink wink, about Brett's foot situation, asked the couple to go to a Cinderella moment with Tamara's foot on Brett's knee. Brent. I'm sorry, not Brett. Man, he said he was freaking out. But thankfully, he does pull through this whole thing. And he said he will not be giving foot massages, whereas she likes foot massages. So I don't know how that's going to match up. But let's continue, because it ain't over yet. So then they have their small receptions with their best friends. There was a moment where she started judging again. Now, Brent asked her what would happen if he worked at a toy store. She said the issue is the lack of ambition is a problem for her. And she told the experts, I asked for somebody who is ambitious. I want somebody who has those same values that I have. And it gets worse. Tamara, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, girl, but she don't like the way Brent uses his cutlery. And she's not okay with his, as she described it, cavemanish ways. Now, I will say Brent did say he likes a girl who takes charge. But he's definitely isn't about to change the way he eats. Now, the thing about this whole situation is the friends aren't liking it. And his friend Levi pulled him to the side like, this going to take some work. Hopefully she'll challenge you enough, but it's going to be a challenge. And then Tamara and her friend was talking about how he's a little bit too short. I'm like, oh man, this is not getting off to a good start. But then there was another issue. There was the issue with the cutting of the wedding cake. Now, after trying to cut the cake with the knife upside down and making a hot mess of the cake, Tamara blames him for passing her the knife upside down. Then she wanted him to apologize. Not wanted him to, she demanded an apology. And Brent, on the other hand, is not going to give her the sorry that she's looking for and that she wants. Brent tell her, you need to learn how to let things go. And she's like, you need to say, I'm sorry and I'm wrong. That's what you need to learn how to do. And they were at a stalemate pretty much. He said pretty much that tonight is going really well. That's what he told the cameras. But well meaning my wife is a psychopath. But I'm not apologizing. Now, I will say he tried to turn this whole thing around because he began to be very playful with her, which I guess to kind of bring down the temperature in the room, even though they were at a stalemate about this whole cake cutting thing and her blaming him for giving her the knife upside down. I'm like, really? But when he started playing with her, she really started to kind of bring her defenses down, and she started to laugh and get a little cuddly with him. So, they ended the night or the reception on a good note. But I guarantee you this situation right here, because her being very judgy, the masculine energy, him and his foot phobia, and him he did say, I'll apologize for big things, but I'm not going to apologize for small petty things. So we'll definitely see what's going to happen with Tamara and Brent. But we got another wedding. So let's talk about my favorite wedding of the night. And that is 38-year-old Anthony and our 32-year-old Celine. And they're considering them the older couple, according to the experts. And I'm like, dang, is 32 and 38 old these days? Now, they are both parents. They've dedicated their lives to their kids. Celine has a young son by the name of Ronan. And Anthony has a 9-year-old daughter, Gabrielle, who is autistic or on the spectrum. And according to him, she sees the world in her own beautiful way, which I thought that was really cute. The note that she wrote that said, "Dear Daddy, good luck. I love you and miss you." And I was already like, oh, I know it has some folks crying. I was definitely happy to see that. And this is, I would say, different than the US version because we've never had single parents that's on the Married at First Sight here in the States. They actually have kids. So we got two single parents together. I want to see how that gel. But so far, it's off to a good start. Let's continue. And Celine, she is just so happy, you know, to get back out there and try to start over in a new marriage. Also, the same thing for Anthony. I actually think they're a very attractive couple. Let me know what you think. You'll definitely get to see some good pictures that they've taken. I got it included in this video, so stay tuned for that. But, you know, our groom, Mr. Anthony, come in looking dapper. And then, of course, as he's waiting at the altar, he turns around and look at his bride. And his face was priceless. She was definitely happy about, you know, what she saw in Anthony. There's definitely an instant spark with the two of these. So I got to give kudos so far with this couple that the experts did. Even Anthony said, I must have died and gone to heaven. I can't take my eyes off of her. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then they connect over both being parents. So they were definitely excited about the fact that they know what it's like to be a single parent. She said about him that he seems to be really nice, warm, good looking, and he's a family man as well. They do exchange their heartfelt vows. Oh my God, it was just so sweet, so romantic, so cute. They exchange rings and everything, which I thought was so, I mean, hey, you're supposed to do that, but this couple is just oozing with chemistry. Of course, they share their kiss, which I thought that they definitely look like a very attractive couple. And then she even said when she kissed him, she felt butterflies. So she definitely liking her new husband. She was smiling from ear to ear. And guys, check out these photos. They are so gorgeous with the two of them. You can tell they really like each other. They're definitely really comfortable with each other. I mean, the experts definitely knocked it out the park with these two. So I'm definitely rooting for Celine and Anthony because, I mean, it is what it is. I'm speechless. So they have their reception, and Celine is definitely loving Anthony's values and the way he talks about his daughter. Anthony, too, is growing closer to Celine with their families, definitely noticing the spark between the two of them because, you know, they also had their family there. And while all this is going on and they're really, you know, happy about their connection, just like we saw with Noi in the US version, bringing her culture into the situation with Steve, Celine has another surprise for her husband, Anthony, bringing him into her Turkish culture with some belly dancing. So she gets up, shaking her hips and doing her thing, and he was definitely here for it. I mean, that's just the start. I could definitely see Anthony building a future, and she even said that. I can see Anthony and I building a future, building a family together. And she said, he is everything I hoped for. So, like I said, I love these two. There are more weddings to come. They did 2 weddings in this episode. Guess what? Unlike the US version, the Australia version comes on again tomorrow night. So normally with US, we have to watch every Wednesday once a week. We get to see the next episode tomorrow night. So stay tuned here on our channel. I'm going to continue to do the reviews. If you want to watch the actual episodes, I can tell you where to do that. I'll drop the link down in the comment section below. So look out for that. I cannot upload the actual episodes on my channel. YouTube and the network out of Australia would not allow it. So, and I don't want that impact on my channel. I already had a dose of that with Love Island Australia. I'm not going to do that with Married at First Sight Australia. So I'll do the recaps over here. And then if you want to watch the full episode, look for the link down in my description, and then you can watch the episode for tomorrow. Now remember, Australia is 16 hours ahead. So, and it's 7:30 their time. So if it's 7:30 their time, it's somewhere in the in the evening, PM. It's somewhere around 3:30 our time in the morning. So 16 hours, 3:30 a.m. So look for their episodes to be uploaded first thing in the morning on this website that I'll drop the link in the description section. So I hope you enjoyed this recap video. I'm looking forward to this season. It gives me a little bit of a variance coming off the U.S. season because there's some craziness going on. And we only on episode 4 over there. So this gives me a little bit of a break. Stay tuned. Also, I'm going to do the recaps on Love is Blind, season 2. That season starts in about 2 weeks on Netflix. So stay tuned for the recaps on that as well. So again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one. Bye.